Hi everyone, good to see you again, whoever watching this. This time I'm talking about the continuation about the history of creation, and this was the first human race has been created by God, and this is called the Garden of Eden. And God said to a man, which was Adam, said, "Do not eat in the middle of the garden, is to the tree that gives life and the tree that gives knowledge of what is good and what is bad." And Genesis chapter 3, it's called the human disobedience. That was happened when the woman, that was Eve, was tempted by snake to eat the fruit that it shouldn't be eaten. And because that tree that gives life and gives knowledge of what is good and what is bad. However, Eve has eaten the fruit and gave to Adam. So this woman was tempted by Satan's. The snakes, that was Satan's. So after that, Genesis chapter 3 verse 13. The Lord God asked the woman, "Why did you do this?" And the woman said, "The snake tricked me into eating it." So eventually she was eating the fruit, which was not shouldn't be eaten. And Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, and God said to woman, that was Eve, said, "I will increase your trouble and pregnancy and your pain in giving birth. In spite of this, you will still have desire for your husband, yet you will be subject to him." And the Genesis chapter 3 and 17, and he said to Adam, "You listen to your wife and ate the fruit which I told you not to eat. Because of what you have done, the ground will be under the curse." So both of them had been cursed by that time. And where am I? Under the curse, you will have to work hard all your life to make it produce enough food for you. It will produce weeds and thorns, and you will have to eat wild plants. You will have to work hard and sweat to make the soil produce anything until you go back to the soil from which you were formed. You were made from soil, and you will become soil again. So that was God said to Adam. And that snake, that was Satan, was tempted Eve, who was told that not to eat the fruit. Satan had lied to Eve that was okay to eat the fruit. Satan was deprived to Eve's mind emotionally and spiritually. Lucifer has been a rebellious and against God ever since he was an angel in heaven, always wanted overpower of God. Therefore, he got kicked out from heaven. And Lucifer is wandering around in earth to manipulate humans' being mind and use that for his own advantage. He goes around to every human being to pull back, to keep distance from God. That was the beginning of sin and suffering in the world, and about God's way of dealing with people. So that's how the sin in the world has started. When the first creation was made by God, who was tempted by Satan's instructions. So, yeah, So after that, Adam and Eve, they became married. So they're husband and wife. So just because of the curse, years back then, the husband used to work harder to provide the family, and the wife look after kids and work like double time in order to meet their needs in daily basis. And it still applies until this time in earth, in our generations. And it's not even like the husband have to work harder, but these days, mainly the wife have to work harder. Both husband and wife have to work together in order to meet the daily living, daily needs. So it seems like it's, we are inherit from the first generations back then, 100 centuries. So yeah, so that was interesting. And after that, they became husband and wife, and they have 2 sons. The first son was Cain, and the second son was Abel. And this is the other story again, with their 2 sons, Cain versus Abel. So I'll tell you a little bit. So this is Genesis chapter 4, the story of Cain and Abel. And that's the 2 sons from Adam and Eve. So Cain is older than Abel. Abel became a shepherd, and Cain was a farmer. After some time, Cain brought some of his harvest and gave it as an offering to the Lord. Then Abel brought the first lamb born to one of his sheep and killed it and gave the best parts of it as an offering. The Lord was pleased with Abel and his offering, but he rejected Cain and his offering. So therefore Cain, which is his brother, became very angry. He was furious, and he scolded in anger, raging anger. Then Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out for a walk." When they were out in the countryside, Cain turned on his brother and killed him. He killed Abel by that time. So by having said that, Cain was distracted by Abel's spirit. He didn't listen from God's advice in the first place, what God had told him to overcome the anger, not to let Satan to rule his mind and his heart, all his anger by that time. However, the evil spirit had ruled him to kill his brother. He was very jealous with his brother, Abel. The envious type of behavior can be fatal and suffer the consequences for the rest of his life. So, let me say, envy behaviors remains applied to human's character until this time in earth. There's always manifested from anyone who is better than others, are not good enough. This intuition has driven by evil's spirit, not from God's spirit. Instead of focusing the anger towards someone who has better things than yours, is it worthy to do hideous thing? Needs acceptance when experiencing the rejection, because when something not quite right means God has a plan for you. He make it straight for you and lead you to his will. So yeah, it's not really, it was a bit sad story. His own brother, he killed Abel, that's his second brother, just because of the jealousy that he had a better offer to the Lord than he had. But yeah, that's what's happened is until this time is, and again, all this type of behaviors and all these ideas, it's all driven by Satan's spirit. It's just Satan's is a constant moving around to humanity's mind to influence, to become like a violence, and therefore there's a violence and crimes in the world, just influenced by Satan's spirit. So yeah, it still applies in our generations in here. So yeah, sometimes we just have to accept the rejections and do something good for God, and instead thinking about we are not better than others or whatever it is. It's just God's will. Just lead us. If there's something not working for us, we just have to lead God, to lead His spirits to us and guide us what's better for us. Sometimes it was failed because it's not good for us. So there is a good thing that has provided from God for us to do. So yeah, that's all I can say this time, and thank you again for watching, and I hope you are in good spirit today. See you soon. Bye for now.